friends, this is Supreena Camaria. I'm a licensed hairdresser for 16 years and I've been teaching hairdressing for last 8 years. As I promised, I'm going to teach you today how to mix the color. Most of the time I get this question, I don't know how much peroxide to mix with my color. It is very easy. It all depends what color company you're using. Every company has given the instruction right on the box. If you read the box, it says it all. First, if you're coloring the hair for gray coverage, you have to make sure that it's written permanent hair color. If you're using a demi-permanent hair color, it's not going to cover your gray. Okay? Most of the time, I would say people do not even look for the box, do not even look for the instruction. What kind of color is it? It can be a demi. Okay, and if you apply the demi can blend your grays, but it will not give you the full coverage. So if you want a full coverage, you have to look for a color where it says permanent hair color. Okay, so once you find the right color for your hair, the next step is how much color and how much peroxide need to be mixed, right? So your box says it all. You just have to read the instruction on the box. Okay, so when you see the box, the instruction is right here on a very fine print. It will tell you 1:1 or 1:1.5, 1:2. So what does it mean? Means the first number is the color. The second number is the peroxide. If it says 1:1 means 50-50. If it says 1:1.5 means 1 part of color, 1.5 part of peroxide. If it says 1:2, what does that mean? 1 part of color and 2 parts of peroxide, right? Okay, let's start with this tube. This is a color from Pharmacy. This tube is 60 ml, okay, or 2 ounces. You can always weight your color and your peroxide, but I find it very easy when sometimes I'm home and I don't have a scale. So how I go, I look for these fine marks on one side of the tube. If you see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is my 6th part. So it is divided into 6 parts. What does that mean? If this is a 60 ml tube, so every sign means 10 ml. Okay, so if I take 1 part of this, means if I'm taking 10 ml of color, my box says 1:2. So that means I have to take 10 ml of color and 20 ml of my peroxide. I hope it's clear. So how much color to mix? It all depends on density of your hair, right? If somebody has fine hair, you might need 20 ml. If somebody has thick hair, you might need 40 ml of color or 50 ml of color. So you go from there. More the hair are, more the color is needed. So luckily, I have another tube at home. So this is a different company. So I'm going to read the box on, I'm going to read the instruction on this box. So it says permanent hair dye and the ratio is 1:1.5, which indicates if I take 1 portion of my color, I need 1.5, 1 means 1.5 portion of peroxide. So always before mixing the color, read the instruction. It will make you clear on the part how much peroxide do you need. Alright, so sometimes I see people pouring the peroxide like this. Never do that. Never ever do that. Why? Because sometimes the color can be too runny, sometimes the color can be very thick. So every time the results are going to be different. That's why a good hairdresser will measure the color and will always measure the peroxide. Why do you think the client wants to come back? If you give them a good results, they will come back. If you do not have a habit of measuring your colors, it is a very bad habit. So make sure you always measure your color. And one more thing, always make a record for what formula you have used for this client. So every time the client comes back, you just pull her record and you know how much color have you mixed, how much peroxide have you mixed, and how many minutes you kept the color. And then you take the feedback from the clients and you ask them question, so how was your color last time? Did you like the color? Right? So the client will come back and will give you a feedback. So if the client says no, my grays were not fully covered, so you know that how much color was there, how much peroxide was there, do you need to fix the formula. If you pour the peroxide like this, you do not know what you did, what mistake you have made, right? So always mix the color, measure it, and record it. Always have the formula written. So guys, this is it for today. So wait for my next video and I will show you how to mix the color exactly the way I do. And if you want to learn how to do a correct way of root touch up, please watch my previous video. Don't forget to subscribe.